Hello, it's your favorite tutor, Mr. David. I want to say a very big welcome to every one of you to today's learning session. Today we'll be learning a very wonderful and important topic in this lesson, and today we'll be learning about quadratic equation. What is a quadratic equation? Why do we need to learn how to solve a quadratic equation? When do we apply some certain rules in solving a particular quadratic equation? We have different methods in solving quadratic equation, and we have the factorization method. You have the completing the square method. We also have using alpha and beta, which is the sum and the product. We're going to be dealing with them one after the other. So join with me as we enjoy this topic together. First, what is quadratic equation? Quadratic equation is simply a three-termed expression where the highest power of the variable is 2. We have other expression where the highest power of the variable is 1. We call it a linear equation. When the highest power of the variable is 2, we call it a quadratic equation. When the highest variable is 3 and above, we call it a polynomial. Take note, when the highest variable is 2, we call it a quadratic equation. So it can either be called a quadratic equation or we call it the second degree polynomial equation. I'm going to be taking us through the different methods in solving quadratic equation, starting with the factorization method. So we have the factorization method coming first. And how do we make use of the factorization method? I'm going to give us steps in solving factorization method. So the steps I usually use in solving when I'm using factorization method. Step 1, write out A, B, and C. You might be wondering what A, B, and C is. Just hold on until I give you the general form of a quadratic expression or a quadratic equation. So, step 2, multiply A and C. Step 3, find two numbers when multiplied gives the result in number 2, which is gives A times C, and when added gives B. Step number 4, replace B with both numbers in step 3. Then number 5, pick and choose and factorize. If you can follow these 5 simple rules, you can be sure of solving any problem using factorization method as long as that quadratic equation is actually factorizable. Not all are factorizable, but if they can be factorizable, we work with factorization method. So let's see the general form of a quadratic equation, how it can appear, and how it looks like before solving some wonderful examples. Now, what is the general form of a quadratic equation? We have it as ax squared plus bx plus c is equals to 0, where a, b, and c are numbers. A, b, and c are real numbers. So you can see the a is the coefficient of x squared, b is your coefficient of x, and c is a constant term. A is the coefficient of x squared, b is the coefficient of x, and c is a constant term equals to what? 0. So it simply means any equation, no matter how it is given to you, you must bring it back to this form. Take note, it can be any alphabet, not just x. It can be ay squared plus by plus c is equals to 0. But take note, a, b, and c are real numbers. Let's start with some simple example under quadratic equation. So the example 1, we have x squared minus 4x minus 21 is equals to 0. So what will be our value for x? So first of all, bring out your a, your b, and your c according to the steps. So my a is equals to 1, my b is equals to negative 4, and my c is equals to negative 21. How do I know my a is equals to 1? Because there's no number in front of x squared. And when there's no number in front of x squared or any alphabet, it means it's having 1. So what is step 2? Step 2 means says multiply a and c. So a times c is equals to 1 times minus 21. And that is equals to minus 21. What is step 3? Look for two numbers or find two numbers where multiplied gives you minus 21, which is a times c, and when added gives the value of b. Take note, the signs must be perfect. The numbers are minus 7 and 3. Because minus 7 times 3 will give me minus 21. Minus 7 plus 3 will give me negative 4. So use them to replace your b. That's the next step. So it means I'm going to be having x squared minus 7. If I take the alphabet with it, 7x positive 3 plus 3x minus 21 equals to what? 0. What the next step I gave to you? Pick them in twos and factorize. So pick this first 2, then pick this next 2. Make sure you don't leave any sign between the brackets. So from here, let's factorize. What is common here? X is common. What is left? X minus 7. What is common here? Positive 3. And what is left? X minus 7. Remember, both brackets must be the same. If they're not the same, then our solving is definitely wrong. So how do you go about breaking this down from here? So let's divide this into two parts so we can simply solve it. So pick what you have outside and pick one of the brackets since they are the same. So I'm going to be having x plus 3, because they are both outside the brackets, and one of the brackets, x minus 7 equals to 0. So what will be the value of x? We'll equate each of them to 0. That's x plus 3 is equals to 0, or x minus 7 is equals to 0. So from here, my x is equals to minus 3, or my x is equals to 7. So I've been able to solve this question using factorization method. Let's see under example using factorization method. Now for example 2, we have 3x squared plus 5x minus 2 is equals to 0. What is the first step? Bring out your a. Our a from here is 3. Our b is equals to 5 because it's positive, and our c is equals to negative 2. So multiply a and c, that's the next step. So a times c is equals to 3 times minus 2, and that is equals to negative 6. Look for two numbers when multiply must give you minus 6, and when added must give you your b, which is positive 5. So the numbers are 6 and negative 1. 6 times negative 1 will give me negative 6. 6 minus 1 will give me what? 5. Why didn't I use 3 and 2? Because 3 times 2 will give me 6, but both have to be positive for me to get 5, but I have a negative 6. So if I put negative somewhere else, it means I won't get 5 anymore. So I can only use 6 and 1. Use it to replace your b. That will be 3x squared plus 6x minus, remember we don't write 1, so we just write minus x. Minus 2 is equal to 0. Pick them in twos, as you can see. Then factorize each bracket. So I have 3x into bracket x plus 2. What is common here? I can say 1 is common. Plus 1 is equals to minus x minus 2, because no other thing is common. What can you notice? Both brackets was an opposite. Here x is positive, here x is negative. Here 2 is positive, 2 is negative here. So when we have something like this, we introduce a minus sign instead of a plus sign. So this will be 3x into bracket x plus 2 minus 1 into bracket x plus 2. So that when you open the bracket, you're going to have the same thing you have up there. Minus 1 times x will give me minus x. Minus 1 times plus 2 will give me what? Minus 2. So equals to 0. Pick each bracket. That is 3x minus 1. And x plus 2 is equal to 0. Equate each of them to 0. 3x minus 1 is equal to 0, or x plus 2 is equal to 0. From here, move your 1 to the other side and divide both sides by 3. So my x will be equal to 1 over 3, or my x is equal to negative 2. So we've solved another wonderful example. Let's see one more example under factorization method. Example 3. We have something like this. 12 minus 5x equals to 3x squared. This is not taking the form of a quadratic equation. So what do? We move 3x squared back to the left. So when we move it, it becomes what? Negative 3x squared minus or positive 12 minus 5x is equals to 0 because there's nothing there anymore. But we have to rearrange it back. So negative 3x squared minus 5x plus 12 is equals to 0. Apply the same formula. Multiply a times c. So my a times c will give me minus 3 times 12. And that is negative 36. Two numbers when multiplied gives you negative 36, and when added must give you negative 5. So the numbers are minus 9 and positive 4. So use it to replace your b. You have minus 3x squared minus 9x plus 4x plus 12 is equal to 0. Pick them in twos. So you can see without leaving any sign outside. So let's factorize each. Minus 3 is common. X is also common, and that will be left with what? X plus 3. What is common here? Plus 4 is common, and I'll be having what? X plus 3 equals to 0. So I have minus 3x plus 4, and also x plus 3 is equals to what? 0. Equate each of them to 0. So I'm going to be having x plus 3 is equals to 0, or minus 3x plus 4 is equals to 0. So from here, my x is equals to minus 3, or minus 3x is equals to minus 4. So what will I do here? Divide both sides by negative 3. So my x will be equals to 4 over 3. So my x can either be minus 3 or my x is 4 over 3. That brings us to the end of using factorization method. But if we are given the answer, how do we get back the equation? I'm going to show you in two examples how we can get back the equation from the result. The result is simply called the root of the quadratic equation. So when you are given the roots, how do we get back the equation, or how do we form the equation? So how do we go about getting the equation from the roots? A beautiful form of writing quadratic equation can also be given as, or the general form again can also be written as x squared minus sum x plus product is equal to 0. So it means sum the roots and also the product of the roots. I'm going to bring a wonderful example now. The first example we have here, example 1. Find the equation whose roots are minus 3 and minus 4. First, find their sum. So for you to find this solution, you find the sum. And what is the sum? The sum is simply minus 3 plus minus 4. So plus times minus is minus. That will be because what? Minus 3 minus 4. And that is equals to minus 7. How about the product? The product is now equals to minus 3 times minus 4. And that is equals to positive what? 12. So put it into the equation. We're going to be having x squared minus, what is my sum? Minus 7x plus, what is the product? 12 equals to 0. But we have minus and minus. So minus times minus will become what? Positive. That makes it what? X squared plus 7x plus 12 is equal to 0 as my equation. So if I solve this equation, I'm still going to get back minus 3 and minus 4 as the roots of my equation. Let's see another example. For example 2, find the equation whose roots are 6 and negative 1 over 3. First of all, find the sum. The sum will be what? 6 plus minus 1 over 3. Plus and minus coming together is negative. That will be 6 minus 1 over 3. So find the LCM. The LCM here is 3. This is going to give me 18 minus 1. And that is equal to 17 over 3 as my sum. So what is my product? My product is what? 6 times negative 1 over 3. And that will be what? Negative 2. So apply it in the formula. That will give us what? X squared minus, what is my sum? 17 over 3x. Okay. Plus, what is my product? Negative 2 equals to 0. So I can write this as x squared minus 17 over 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. But will I stop here? No. Because I'm having a number in my denominator. So multiply all through by the LCM of the denominator. X squared have a denominator of 1. 2 has a denominator of 1. So what will be the LCM of 1, 3, and 1? That is simply what? 3. So multiply all through by 3. So multiply through by 3. And that will lead us to what? 3x squared minus 17x minus 6 is equals to what? 0 as our final result. This is how we go about finding the equation when we have the roots. Let's now see the next method that we call completing the square method. Now moving into completing the square method. Completing the square method is very unique. So how do you go about it? Starting with the general equation of a quadratic equation of the general form, which is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Do first, divide all through by the coefficient of x squared. Divide by the coefficient of x squared. That's the first step. And that will simply give us ax squared over a plus b over a plus c over a is equal to 0. So that will make it to become what? X squared plus b over ax plus c over a is equal to 0. Move the constant term to the right. That is the second stage. Move the constant term to the right. Remember, it was positive before, as you go to negative. So I'm going to be having x squared plus b over ax is equals to negative c over a. At this moment, what will I do? Add the square of half of b over a, that's b over 2a all squared, to both sides. To both sides. And that will simply give us x squared plus b over ax plus b over 2a all squared is equals to negative c over a plus b over 2a all squared. So from here, what do? We factorize. And that will be picking these two together. That will be x plus b over 2a all squared is equals to minus c over a plus b squared all over 4a squared. This is what we use in finding or solving using completing the square method. Solving using completing the square method. So let's see some wonderful examples. Sometimes you might be asked to go further than this and you are asked to prove the formula for quadratic equation, but we are not diving into that now. We are actually trying to solve problems using completing the square method. So let's see some wonderful examples using completing the square method. We have the first example, 2x squared minus 5x minus 3 is equal to 0. Remember, the first step is to divide all through by your a, which is your 2. That will be what? X squared minus 5 over 2x minus 3 over 2 is equal to 0. Move the constant term to the right. That makes it x minus 5 over 2x is equals to 3 over 2. After that, add half the square of b to both sides. So now, what is my b? Add the square of half of b to both sides. My b is negative 5 over 2. So what is half of it? So half of b will now be equals to 1 over 2 times negative 5 over 2. And that will be negative 5 over 4. So what will be the square? So the square will be 25 over 16. But let's not use that yet. Let's still stick with adding half of it, the square of it to both sides. That will be what? That is x squared. So x squared minus 5 over 2x plus minus 5 over 4 all squared is equal to 3 over 2 plus minus 5 over 4 all squared. Remember, we don't open up the one on the left, so we factorize what we have on the left. Let me factorize the left, and that will become you picking these two. That will be x minus 5 over 4 in a bracket all squared is equals to 3 over 2. Then open the right hand side, plus 25 over 16. So from here, I'm going to be having x minus 5 over 4 all squared is equals to what my LCM here is 16. And that will be 8, 24 plus 25. And that is equals to how many? 49 over 16. So it means my x minus 5 over 4 all squared is equals to 49 over 16. How do I remove square? I have to find the square root of both sides. So if I find the square root of both sides, so find square root of both sides to remove the square. And that will become x minus 5 over 4 is equals to plus or minus square root of 49 is 7 and square root of 16 is what? 4. So my x is equals to move 5 over 4 to the other side. 5 over 4 becomes positive plus or minus 7 over 4. If you permit me, I'll use a simple line here. That will be my x is equals to 5 over 4 plus 7 over 4. And that will be equals to 12 over 4, which is equal to 3. Or x is equals to 5 over 4 minus 7 over 4 because it's plus or minus. And that will be what? Minus 2 over 4, which is equals to negative 1 over 2. So you can see that our answer is simply 3 or negative 1 over 2. If you solve this using factorization method, we are still going to arrive at the same answer. Let's see another example under completing the square method. So the next example, we have 5x squared minus 32x plus 10 is equals to 0. Any question you cannot solve using factorization method, completing the square method will definitely solve it for you. First, divide all through by the coefficient of x squared, which is what? 5. So that will make this become what? 5x squared over 5 minus 32 over 5x plus 10 over 5 is equal to 0. And that makes it x squared minus 32 over 5x plus 2 is equal to what? 0. So what will I do from here? Take 2 to the other side. That will make it what? X squared minus 32 over x is equals to negative what? 2. Then what is half of your b? Your b is now minus 32 over 5. So therefore, half of b now become 1 over 2 times negative 32 over 5. And that is equals to negative 16 over 5. Remember, we have to add the square of this to both sides. That makes it what? X squared minus 32 over 5x plus negative 16 over 5 all squared is equals to negative 2 plus negative 16 over 5 all squared. So now we factorize, remember, factorize the left. So that makes it x minus 16 over 5 all squared is equals to minus 2 minus, what is 16 times 16? So that will give us negative or positive is going to be positive plus 256 all over 25. So solve the left hand side. That will give us x minus 16 over 5. Also find the LCM, and the LCM here is 25. Remember this as over 1. 1 in 25 is 25 times 2, that will negative 50 plus 256. And that will be x minus 16 over 5 all squared is equals to negative, or rather positive 206 all over what? 25. So from here, what can we do? Find the square root of both sides. When looking at this, I'm going to have a decimal number. So let's just make everything decimal. So this will become x minus 16 over 5 is going to be 3.2 all squared is equals to 206 divided by 25. And that will be 8.24. So find the square root of both sides. That will give us x minus 3.2. Remember, when you're finding square, it's going to be plus or minus. So plus or minus, and that will be approximately 2.87. So it means my x is equals to 3.2 plus or minus 2.87. So my x is equals to 3.2 plus 2.87, or 3.2 minus 2.87. So if you look at it, whatever answer you get is your value for x. I'm going to pause there so you can get your value of x yourself. After that, we'll solve one final example. Under completing the square method, and that will be the end of this video, as in the next video we'll be talking about using alpha and beta. So the last example we'll be solving here is 2x squared plus 15x plus 7 is equals to 0. Again, divide all through by the coefficient of x squared, which is what? A. That will make it 2x squared all over 2 plus 15 over 2x plus 7 over 2 equals to what? 0. And that will give us what? X squared plus 15 over 2x plus 7 over 2 is equals to 0. So move 7 over 2 to the right. That's the constant term. That makes it x squared plus 15 over 2x is equals to negative 7 over what? 2. Then what is the half of your b? So half of b is now equals to 1 over 2 times 15 over 2. And that will be what? 15 over 4. Add the square of this to both sides. That becomes x squared plus 15 over 2x plus 15 over 4 all squared is equals to minus 7 over 2 plus 15 over 4 all squared. Then factorize the left. Factorize the left, that makes it what? X plus 15 over 4 all squared is equals to minus 7 over 2 plus 225 all over what? 16. So from here, I can go ahead and solve my left-hand side. Or sorry, my right-hand side rather. So x plus 15 over 4 all squared is equal to the LCM here is 16. That makes that become minus 56 plus 225. So I have x plus 15 over 4 all squared is equals to, that will give us 169 over 16. Now find the square root of both sides to remove this square. So my x plus 15 over 4 is equals to plus or minus square root of 169 is 13 and square root of 16 is what? So let's divide into two smaller parts for that we can solve it completely here. So let's move 15 over 4 to the other side. Remember it was positive here, so it will become negative. So our x will be equals to negative 15 over 4 plus or minus 13 over 4. So our x is equals to negative 15 over 4 plus 13 over 4. Or our x is equals to negative 15 over 4 minus 13 over 4. So from here, my x will be equals to minus 2 over 4, or x is equals to minus 28 over 4. So my x is equals to minus 1 over 2, or my x is equals to minus 7. So we've been able to solve this question in a very unique way. I want to believe you've enjoyed watching quadratic equation using factorization method or completing the square method. In the next video, we're going to be looking at how to use what we call the formula method and also how to use the sum and product of roots like alpha and beta in solving our quadratic equation. See you in the next video.